Welcome back to part 3 of our webcast with Joe McCarter. How long have you been on the Rochester School Board?
Finishing up my 3rd year.
How much time does it take to be a well-prepared contributing member of the Rochester School Board?
More than they tell you when they're trying to get you to join. Jim Dillinger was the one that called me to join, and he said, "Oh, it's one meeting a month, and we have maybe another meeting or two, but it's a lot." One of my frustrations with my IBM job that I left recently was that as I was traveling more and more, I was missing more and more meetings. But to be really prepared, it probably takes, I would say, 3 hours a week as far as preparation. And then, in addition to meetings, we all serve on 1 or 2 committees. So it's a fairly decent time commitment. They have monthly workshop meetings on the first, I think, Monday of every month. And those are typically in the morning, and they'll last, because we have reports from each of the building administrators, and they'll last 3 to 4 hours. And then our monthly actual regular board meeting is 2 to 3 hours, and we might have an executive session smattered in here and there.
Are you pleased with Rochester New Tech High School? Are you concerned? Is it a good idea?
I am pleased with it. It was approved right before I came on the board. I did have a chance, actually, when I was out traveling on business, they had a group that was visiting Napa. And so I was able to drive down one day and see Napa. I'll be honest, for a person that went to Rochester High School that grew up and lives in Rochester, Indiana, it was a bit startling when I first saw Napa. And then we met as a group after the tours, and to listen to the teachers and the principal who were seeing it for the first time. I obviously kept pretty quiet, but to listen to their enthusiasm and excitement from an educator's perspective, it made me keep my eyes open. As I looked into it more, talked to different people, I think it's got a lot of great things about it. I think there is still a place and value for whole group instruction. And I still think at the end of the day it comes down to the quality of the educator, and we've got a lot of good quality educators at Rochester. But I think the biggest asset is the public speaking, that the kids get so comfortable with speaking in front of groups, and that is a skill that will take you a long way. The second, and in that order, is the technology. The fact that technology just becomes intrinsic to them. It's not, we're gonna go work on the computers for the sake of working on computers. It's just the way they do their work. And today, as you know, that's the way it is. You don't think about the fact that you're on your computer 7 or 8 hours a day. You just, until your back starts giving out, you just do it. So I think there's a lot of good about it. I wish it wasn't all or nothing. I hope over time we'll be able to do a little bit of the migration, but I understand because of the need to get the instructional content, it is kind of all or nothing on the front end.
Rochester Schools recently fired a school bus driver for not coming to a complete stop at a little-used railroad crossing. Shortly after that, an elementary school principal was allowed to stay after a drunken driving incident. Without discussing specific details of either case, can you share with us in a general way what might the difference be there?
Yeah, without getting too specific, I think the difference is, well, first of all, on the front end, you have to look at, were children's we're children involved. And any decision we make as a board, the first thing we ask is, what's the best thing for the student? How did this impact the students? How could this potentially impact the students? You know, I always tell folks, when I look at my duties as a school board, you get opinions and suggestions from a lot of different angles. But you've got, and there's different people that you have to keep in mind. But our critical consumer is the student. And a lot of times they can't necessarily speak for themselves. Secondly are the teachers, the educators, the staff members. Thirdly are the parents, and then the taxpayer in general. And you like to be able to make decisions when all four of those bubbles line up and you can do something and everybody's, and I can tell you my experience is that doesn't happen very often. You know, so I think, you know, just to talk in generals, it has to do with, you know, something that's done while working versus not, you know, on the clock, so to speak. Are students involved? Has there been prior offenses? Has there been, you know, prior warnings? You know, in general, that's what I would say is the thing you have to look at.
Please respond to this statement. It is far too easy for ineffective and burned out teachers to keep their jobs. Teacher tenure rules should be relaxed to give school administrators a freer hand.
Yeah, I don't think it's too easy for them to be lax. First of all, I think when you look at the body of staff and educators we have at Rochester, we're very fortunate. And I'm biased because I graduated. A lot of my teachers are still teaching, and I think they're pretty darn good. Some people will disagree with me, but you know, so be it. There is a process and there is a procedure in place that even with tenured teachers you can follow. I think the difficult thing is when you have turnover in administration, that can delay things. But that's not too different from the outside world. You know, some people are happy to see a boss go, and other people aren't. Buys some people time. But there's a process in place, and you know, it followed. You know, and you asked in one of our earlier segments about my management style. I want to work to make people get better. I think everybody's capable. Now, at the end of the day, some people may just be more capable of doing something else. But I think it's our responsibility, my responsibility here, and our administrators' responsibility, and supervisors of the school system is to make everyone better, whatever their job role is.